It's been a pretty good year for Iron Man.
Well, he did die at the end of that movie, leaving behind the Avengers.
Right.
And all his suits.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And his young daughter.
Yeah. But in terms of Lego sets, it's been a pretty good year for Iron Man. Hey guys, I'm Josh, this is Josh Builds Stuff, and today we're taking a look at a set that I am very excited about. This is the Iron Man Armory. It was just released at the end of August 2020, contains 258 pieces, is suitable for ages 7+, and only costs $30. This set is basically an expansion or an add-on to the Hall of Armor set, which was released in 2019, because the actual Armory part of this set can be connected right onto that one. But there are a lot of other great details to talk about in this set, including my favorite detail, this little hot rod. This little car holds a special place in my heart because during a large portion of a young Josh's adolescence, I had a picture of this car set as my desktop background for a very long time. This was way before young Josh built much stuff at all, but now look how far we've come. Let's take a closer look at that little car as well as the rest of the details of this set, including the build and the minifigures. So as we take a closer look at this set, we can see that there's actually a lot included here. We've got Tony Stark's hot rod with Tony himself, a little box of Tony's toys, 2 different Iron Man suits. We get the Armory itself as a backdrop, which has room to display other Iron Man suits. There's a little 3D printer, I'm gonna call it there, with an Iron Man micro figure, and 2 AIM agents to offer some opposition in this set's story. Speaking of the story of this set, I assume it's supposed to be that Tony is working here in his garage when 2 AIM agents break in, which seems like a bad place to break in because this place is literally full of Iron Man suits, and I guess Tony has to fight them off using the stud shooters which are on his hot rod, though you can see they are not on my version of his hot rod. What I'm talking about is this. I made a couple of minor modifications to this car. For one, they give you an extra little micro Iron Man figure, and I use that as a hood ornament, but this car is supposed to have a couple of stud shooters sticking out of the side of it, like this, which I think looks really terrible because it just kind of mucks up the otherwise clean, simple look of a cool hot rod. When they tell you to install them, they kind of show them facing backwards, like they're exhaust pipes or something like that, but even on the website, it says that you have to use the shooting functions of Tony's car to fend off the bad guys. So I'm not crazy about that, and I think it looks a lot better with those removed, which is exactly what I've done. And then we also get this micro Iron Man, which, like I said, I think makes a good-looking hood ornament for this hot rod. While we're still talking about the car, the only gripe that I have about it is that I wish it were a little larger and a little more detailed. And I think the only reason I have that wish is because I got this hot rod set for free along with, I think, the big Lamborghini set a little earlier this year. And my first thought when I got this set was actually that I could change out some of the blue pieces here, make them black or red, and create Tony Stark's hot rod. A short while later though, LEGO announced that they were going to be making this Iron Man Armory set, and so I decided there was no reason to try to create my own version of this roadster. However, now that I see how small the actual model is, I kinda still want to make a larger version of it. In any case, getting back to the set, I think that this model of the car is supposed to be the one, or at least very similar to the one shown in the first Iron Man movie when we visit Tony's garage. However, I'm still a bit confused because I thought that these Avengers sets, which feature the AIM characters as the main antagonists, are supposed to be based on the new Avengers video game coming out later this year. And if that's still the case, then I guess it's not entirely unrealistic that Tony would still have a black and red accented hot rod with flames down the side that match very closely to the car that he had in the cinematic universe. Fun fact though, that hot rod from the first Iron Man movie was actually a 1932 Ford Model B Roadster, and it was actually owned by Jon Favreau, who directed that movie. And if a Roadster is different from a hot rod, or if I'm just calling this car a hot rod because I don't know very much about cars, it's just because I don't know very much about cars. Aside from this car though, we do get a lot of other things in this set. This is supposed to be Iron Man's Armory, though at this scale it looks a little bare bones because there are only 2 suits and there are only bays for 4 suits total. But like I said earlier, these armor bays are actually designed in the exact same way that they were in the Hall of Armor set released last year, and they even have connection points so you could extend directly onto that set. We also get this little box of accessories, or as LEGO labels it, Tony's toys on either side. On top, we get a little Lego cheeseburger, which I think is awesome. And there's a little coffee cup, or I guess just a drink cup, as well as a sticker here of a car's head gasket, so that implies that we are in the midst of working on that car. Another fun little detail here is that on these two floating panels, on the left one there is actually a sticker that says that we want a delivery of a cheeseburger with extra cheese. It's probably not going to show up very well here, and in reality it's hard to see in real life too. That's the other disappointing thing about this armor bay itself, is that you can see there are stickers for individual Iron Man suits there, but they're mostly hidden behind the non-clear pieces. If I were to turn this piece around, you can see that they're actually full-scale stickers on the back, but you only see a tiny window of them through the front, which is a real shame because there's a lot of fun details on those stickers. For example, those stickers tell us which versions of the Iron Man suits we actually have here. The silver one is the prototype armor final_version_2, which is a fun little nod to the curse of any designer who names their file final, because it definitely will not be the final version. And our armor set here with all of the accessories is called the Prime 20 armor. This set also has stickers, though not minifigures, for a War Machine Prototype 20, as well as a fire armor called Blazer, which is fun because that actual armor set is new and is included in the Avengers Tower set, which also came out earlier this year, which I've also reviewed, so go watch that video after this one. The final fun detail in this set is what I'm going to call a little 3D printer, but they don't actually say that that's what this is supposed to be. I think Lego just says this is a mini prototype Iron Man armor, but to me it looks like it's sitting under a 3D printer. There's also a little cell phone sitting there. I think those details are pretty fun. The minifigures in this set are actually pretty good, especially since we get 5 figures for only $30. However, the only new minifigure we get is this silver-looking Iron Man with a bunch of rivet points. I believe this is supposed to be the prototype armor, at least in this universe, kind of like the Mark II in the cinematic universe, but again, that's not what these sets are based on. The red and gold, more classic-looking armor that we get in this set is called the Prime 20 armor. At least that's what the sticker says on the Armory itself. I believe this is the very same Iron Man suit that we've gotten with a lot of other Avengers sets this year. However, this one has some extra arm accessories, which remind me of the nanotech suit from Endgame. However, again, not what these sets are based on. We of course get Tony Stark included with this set, and he's rocking a Henley-looking shirt, which I think kind of matches what Stark would have worn while he was in his garage working on his cars. However, I don't think any of the prints or pieces on this figure are new, but he does have the headpiece, which can kind of show that armor interior look if you wanted to swap out his head into one of the armor suits. That sounds a little weird, but you know what I mean. This set also comes with a couple of AIM agents, however there's nothing special about them because they are exactly the same as every AIM agent that has been released with every Avengers set that has come out this year. The build for this one was quick, as you would expect for only 200 and some pieces, though I did enjoy building the car because it kind of reminds me of Speed Champion sets, though on a much smaller scale. Like I said, I wish the car were a little bigger, and therefore I wish that the build for it had lasted a little longer. The Armory part of this build was actually pretty repetitive because it's basically the same platform just built 4 times. Other than the car, the Armory, and the minifigures, there's not much more to the build of this set, besides of course the little box with the cheeseburger on it, and I've got to say, putting together that little cheeseburger was the most satisfying part of this build. Overall, I don't think anyone's buying this set to settle in for a nice long build. They're probably buying it for the minifigures, and in that regard, they're probably going to get what they expect. So my final thoughts on this set: for only 30 bucks, I think it's pretty good. The car, pretty good. I wish it was bigger. The Armory I like all the little accessories and details. Very good minifigures. 5 minifigures for only 30 bucks. That's a pretty good deal. For people that already own the Hall of Armor set, I don't know that there's a ton of appeal in this set except for maybe to get the car, but otherwise, especially for people who have bought multiple sets of Halls of Armor to build big mega Halls of Armor, I don't know that they're getting much new from this set. For me though, I don't own that Hall of Armor set, so I was really looking forward to getting this mini version of that, especially with the car that actually meant a lot to me in my adolescence. Plus, this set comes with a Lego cheeseburger, and that's making me hungry for a real cheeseburger, and that's a sign of good design. So I'm going to go get a cheeseburger, and you all let me know what you think about this set down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Did you really have that car set as your computer background?
It really was. Except, I thought it would be too nerdy to have Iron Man as my desktop background, so I made the background a picture of his car. That way, if anyone saw it, they would think I was just into cars, which are always cool, instead of superheroes, which at the time weren't very cool.
Did it ever fool anybody?
Not really. I didn't have any friends, so no one really came over and saw my desktop background. So I guess I was really just fooling myself.
That's sad, bro. That's sad.